But as our modern world starts to change at such a fast rate, life will need to evolve at super speed to keep up. We heard about a surprising story in South Australia, one that's giving us brand new insights into how fast animals can respond to the heat. When things get really dry in the outback, some Aboriginal people turn to a very special bird for help. A tiny zebra finch. It's legendary, the ultimate desert survivor, known to some as Big Sister.
They guide people through the hard times to find water.
Big Sister is also very special to Mylene Mariette. She's an environmental scientist who has spent the last 15 years following these birds, investigating their mythical powers in times of drought.
I heard the story and then I got to experience it myself.
The finches are a guide that can lead people to water.
Just follow the bird little by little, through the creeks. Those birds were really quite amazing to me. So I was just really discovering a new world.
Zebra finches can travel vast distances to water holes. In extremes, they can even break down their own body fat to avoid dehydrating. They help each other find water and gather in noisy flocks at secret springs like this. And following Big Sister comes all the other animals. Their ability to find water during times of drought has given this tiny bird huge status with both the people and the wildlife here. And for Mylene, there is something else. She's finding out that the truth about these birds is even more impressive than the legend. She wanted to know why Big Sister was not only finding water, but also surviving the devastating drought better than others.
The zebra finch are actually one of the few species that still somehow managed to survive when everything else was dying.
The finches seem to have a special power to cope with the unforgiving heat. To find out what was going on, Mylene set up a study site with nest boxes.
That's when I started looking at their communication.
Eavesdropping on the private lives of these tiny birds.
They, talk to each other. They have different sorts of calls.
Those calls might not sound like much to you and me, but Mylene has what it takes.
Oh, I have very good ears, actually.
And she's been listening in for so long, she's practically fluent in Finch.
What I like about it is they tell us all of their secrets.
Then one hot day, with the mercury pushing triple digits,
I was just listening to the birds and watching them, and they were taking turns during incubation.
the male finch flew off, leaving the female on her nest. And Mylene noticed a very faint call. A call she had never heard before.
Some very unusual calls. Nearly sounds like crickets, actually, so it's really high pitch, really fast. It was quite hot on that day. And that's when I realized, oh, maybe it's related to heat.
And that was when Mylene made the kind of mental leap that leads to a scientific breakthrough. She had the notion that the mother was talking to her unhatched chicks.
I decided to play those calls to the egg and see if they listen.
She set up an experiment with 2 incubators.
In one incubator, the embryos were hearing the heat calls that the parents make when it's hot.
The other group were played a set of normal contact calls.
The only difference between the 2 groups of eggs was the sound that they heard.
And then she sits back and waits. As her young hatchlings grow, she measures them and records something incredible. The chicks that were played the heat song in the egg are developing differently.
Just being exposed to the environment for 24 hours, they already started to diverge. And then by the time they are 12 days old, we can see a big difference in their growth. This one has heard the heat song, so he's a bit smaller than the other one, which didn't hear the heat song, and so it's just grown bigger.
It turns out that those that hear the heat call are smaller and are more likely to survive.
When it's hot, they actually produce less energy. If you produce less heat, then you can grow better with less food. They are better at coping with the heat for longer and to higher temperatures.
Mylene tells me the hatchlings have changed at the cellular level, changing their bodies in real time to become more biologically suited to their environment. All from something as simple as a song. I can't overstate how incredible this is. It means this generation will have a greater chance of surviving a hotter summer. It's like they're sending a warning to their unborn offspring, saying, it might be rough out here, so prepare yourself. It's not a new behavior, but it is a new discovery about the potential of nature's resilience.
It shows that animals have other ways that we still don't know about to adjust to climate change, so it does give us a little bit of hope.
It shows that nature has abilities to change, not just over thousands of years, but in a single generation.